Hey everyone, it is Josh coming to you with a little video message. I just want to share some interesting stuff that's happened to me recently. Isaac and I, my husband and I, just got back from a whirlwind adventure in basically Europe. It was the continent of Europe. Is you know the EU, the European Union, the United Kingdom. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. Our trip was a tour with East of the Hebrides tour company. We went on it with a friend, and this has been a long time coming. We were planning it back, I think, in 2018. And we went, we had a magical time. It was phenomenal. And we're going to do a little talk about it tomorrow night and Tuesday at 7. And we went to the Isle of Man, which is the island between Ireland and Scotland and England. So it's part of the UK, United Kingdom. And we spent some time in England, went to York, fascinating city, wonderful city. And then we went to Edinburgh in Scotland. Then we were supposed to go home. So we flew from Edinburgh, Scotland to Amsterdam, where we had a layover and had a magical night in Amsterdam. Amazing city. And then went home. Well, yesterday, being Sunday, I had a day of readings, and it was an interesting day to say the least. I had a client, and this is a fascinating thing that happened to me. Had a client, had a session, and this person had won a contest from a couple years ago. He had won a reading with me from a couple years ago, and they'd reached out recently and said, "Hey, can I get in on this reading? You know, I won it a couple years ago. I'd like to get in on it." I was like, "Sure, why not? Right? Come on in." And this person came in, sat down, had a reading with me, man, talking to this person about their parents, their life, this stuff, as they do. I'm giving this person a reading. And one of the things that I got for this person is I was like, hey, if you wanted to get into this, you'd be good at reading tarot cards. We have here at Deep Earth Arts, we have once a month a reading share where people come in and share their cards and read for one another. And as long as you're not a professional doing it, come on in and stretch those muscles, learn about that stuff. It's a great practice. And this person said, "Are you talking about tarot cards?" And I was like, "Yeah, tarot cards." "I will not be doing that." It's like, okay. So, I had to ask this person, I'm like, "You have something against tarot cards?" Um, because, I mean, all sorts of people with all sorts of opinions and proclivities around stuff, you know. For instance, I met a Catholic woman one time who very much believed in mediums and very much believed in what I do, but did not want to experience any of the Reiki my husband did because the Reiki was evil. So, as peculiar as that perspective is for me, I understand that people can have certain opinions about stuff. So I said, "Hey, you'd be good at tarot cards." She goes, "Nah, I would not be doing this. I will not be doing that." Okay, why? "Well, it's pseudoscience." This person says, "Pseudoscience." I'm like, okay. I had to sit with that for a moment. I, in my relationship with tarot, get a lot of insight into it. And the thing that I said to this person was, as I knew that they did, you consider yourself quite liberal, right? Not conservative, but liberal, right? I go, "I think that you're doing something that you despise. I think that you are judging something. You have made judgments about something without understanding it." Because this person did not understand tarot and yet saw it as pseudoscience. That's well and good. It's not a science, though. So it can't even be a pseudoscience. It's divination. This person did not believe in any form of divination whatsoever. And this person was an atheist, absolutely an atheist. Did not believe that their parents carried on, did not believe the spirits carried on. And I had to blatantly ask this person, like, "What are you doing here? Why? Why? Why?" They were curious. And that's totally cool. Come on in and be curious. I love the skeptics. But it gave me a moment to think about tarot and divination. Because we, as people, can lose our agency to these things. And that's what I mean, right? Spiritual practices, divination, anything like that should encourage us to find our own authority. We can get help from friends. We can get advice from friends, but our friends do not dictate our life. They don't. So when it comes to tarot, when it comes to oracles or oracle cards, runes, or anything like that, we lean into them from a place of advisement. Just like we have friends, we lean into our friends from a place of advisement. Ultimately, we are our own authorities, and we make decisions based off of our abilities to analyze intellectually and our abilities to interact emotionally with a certain situation, right? So the last thing we should do is ask tarot a question, divination, and then go, that's exactly what I'm going to do, right? Or I can't do that thing because tarot told me not to. So we don't lose our agency to these things, and we can't take them too seriously, even though we do use them. And I cannot express to you how much they have been a powerful tool for me and moving through life and interacting. So it is this sense of, each of the cards has a meaning. Those cards have a meaning. Ask a question, pull some cards, and learn from that. Get some information from that. I do believe that spirit works in very fascinating and mysterious ways. I do believe that spirit does speak through these tools. I don't need anybody else to believe that. And that, I think, is a beautiful part of being human, right? We can look at items in nature, things in nature, right? The idea of beehives being built close to the ground because we might have a cold winter and they want to be buried by snow. That in and of itself is a form of divination. Humans do. They divine things from signs and symbols all the time. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in morning, sailors take warning. While that is generally true, it's not always true. You can have red sky at night and it can be crappy the next day. So it's just one of those things where use the tools, learn the tools, but don't give yourself over fully to the tools. With that being said, I want to do a little tarot reading here. I want to show you, and this is, again, my stuff, right? I want to show you how I use these tools. I have a 3-card spread that I use, and this is something that's just kind of come to me, and it is 3 cards. The first card is me in the moment. The second card is what vexes and perplexes. The third card is what heals and reveals. So if you're a user of tarot or oracle cards, runes, anything like that, I encourage you to do this. I encourage you to take this and set that up. So here we go. I'm going to shuffle this deck 3 times, and I'm just going to do it with that intention of the first card showing me who I am. Second card, what vexes and perplexes. And the third card, what heals and reveals. So this is a good snapshot, a good check-in with where we're at. And remember, we're just doing this like we're talking to a friend, getting some insight from a friend. So I split the deck, cut the deck, shuffle 3 times, cut the deck. This card right here, card on top, reveals me, who I am in this moment. And again, I use this as an example for folks who might be interested in these things. The star. Now, this card is one of the most beautiful cards in all of tarot. It is the card that comes after the tower. And there's a saying in tarot, you can't get to the star without going through the tower. So there is this sense of healing, right? And this sense of peace. But I like the fact that tarot is calling me a star. I'll take it, right? I'll take it. The second card is what vexes and perplexes me in this moment. So again, I'm kind of excited about this because I like seeing what the cards have to say. The 6 of Pentacles. Now the 6 of Pentacles, this is, to me, this person in this card right here is Mary. I have a relationship with the spirit of Mary. Mary is also Isis to me. That's not a Christian or a Catholic thing. And it is something that perplexes me, right? When I was on this trip to the Isle of Man, I am really leaning into this idea of Mary as the rose. So much so, I got roses tattooed on me. That love and compassion and grace that Mary represents. I will tell you, I had an experience while I was away on vacation where I got a sense of this spirit again, and I do from time to time and in my own way. There is, with this spirit of Mary, there is this sense of compassion that is so great, it feels alien to me. And this is a fascinating thing because we can look at emotions and look at them as if like they're purely human. I feel from that spirit a level of compassion so great, it feels non human. How fascinating is that? It doesn't even feel human. It's that significant. So it does vex and perplex me. The existence of a spirit so big, and that spirit in and of herself really, really does vex and perplex me because I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to do my best to interact with it from a place of honoring that relationship and understanding it so I can best interact with her. What heals and reveals, this next card? The Moon card. What heals and reveals. Now, the Moon card does talk about being under the influence. What heals and reveals. This is like the werewolf card to me, right? This is the card of the Pisces. I'm a Pisces, right? This is the Moon card. Watery emotion, intuition, right? So there's a level of intuition here. This is, though, the card of lunacy, the card of being under the influence. I'm not going to take this card and go, oh, I got to go get drunk or get high or whatever. I'm not going to lean into that card like that. But there is a funny connection to the Moon card and that feminine Mary spirit. One of the things that I had a strong connection to when this spirit was showing herself to me, it was very much in a lunar way, and I found a whole bunch of lunar moths. So understanding her and understanding that idea of femininity, that great mother spirit as being more of a lunar aspect, and the great masculine spirit being more of a solar aspect. Anyways, I digress. This card shows me that I'm under the influence. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The spirit of Mary, the spirit of Isis, I have had a lot of wonderful and quite bonkers experiences in this world. Nothing has ever happened to me so miraculously and so significant as how this spirit has shown herself to me. Hence, covering my skin in a very permanent way as a way to honor and acknowledge her. That also shows that we have this connection to these greater spirits, these big, big spirits. We have the dead in our life. We have the spirits of our ancestors in our life. They interact with us all the time. And truly, that's where I believe our sense of intuition comes from. And yet these greater spirits are all around us as well. The big spirits are all around us. For all of that, we lean into our own authority. And this is something that is very important to me as I do my work. Jesus doesn't have the answer. God doesn't have the answer. Mary doesn't have the answer. We have the answers. We are our own authority. To find clarity around stuff that is kind of holding us down, the traumas, the pains, we can lean into tools, we can go to therapy, we can have spiritual advisors, we can do all sorts of things, but ultimately we have the answer for us, and we should be working to find that. How do we have our own answer? This way. Just a simple exercise. Take what bothers you the most in your life right now. About you, about your life, regrets, conditions, pains, turmoils, traumas, whatever is a big problem in your life, think about what you would tell somebody else to do with it. One of my clients yesterday sat with him, and the very first thing was like, whoa, man, like you are turning some molehills into some very significant mountains, and it's having an effect on you and your well being and the well being of your family. Like, you gotta calm down. Like, something's going on in this world, and you're making it a bigger deal than it really is. So, can we get some perspective around that? Come to find out, he was headed in for a surgery. He's getting his hips operated on. And what I said to him was like, hey, if your son was going through this, I understand, it's a surgery and you rightfully, could very well have some anxiety around it. Yeah, what would you tell your son if he was going in for the same surgery? And he's like, well, I would tell him, he's in the hands of professionals, things are going to work out, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why aren't you telling yourself that, right? So that again shows us that we have that authority and that wisdom inside of us, and that we should always lean into it. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off here, and I hope that you will join us, Isaac and I, tomorrow night, Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're going to show some pictures. We're going to show some of the treasures that we found, and we're going to talk about our experiences and how awesome it was. So, hope you join us. It's the only time we're going to do it. A lot of people have questions for us. Hope you'll be there. Take care.